Right, what an insightful presentation from Bambang. Right, before we continue to the next presentation, I just want to mention slightly logistic information. For those who are going to present their presentation today, please bear in mind we've got how do you call that, a timekeeper. So, well, in the meantime, please bear in mind that you have to look at the time allocated to your presentation, right? Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to read the resume from Professor Dr. Sri Suparyati Soenarto. Ibu, saya baca dulu. Let me read your resume first. Sri Suparyati Soenarto, MD, PhD, is a professor of pediatrics consultant for gastroenterology in Department of Child Health, Gadjah Mada University, Indonesia. She completed her MD degree in Gadjah Mada University and became a pediatrician in 1975. Right, okay, well, okay, I'll skip blah blah blah. And, but bear in mind, the various prestigious awards have been received by Professor Yati Soenarto, such as Outstanding Asian Pediatrician Award from the Asian Pacific Pediatrician Association, Ahmad Bakri 2010 Award for Outstanding Medical Field and High Respect for the Ideas of Freedom. And the last one, the R. Suteja Award for Honor for Exceeding Social Prestige in Health Profession Appliance, especially in the field of child health. And let me see the bottom line book. I'll try to trim down the resume. Wow, she's distinguished speaker. Obviously, she's also involved in a collaborative research with Harvard Medical School for Mental Health Research in Indonesia. Without further ado, please welcome the next speaker.
Hi friends. Yeah, I'm very honored to be here, and thanks for the committee because you bring me to an environment when I was be like you in 1977, where in Utrecht, Wilhelmina Kinderziekenhuis, and we so mix my language. Okay. Thanks, Bambang, to start. So they asked me just recently how to develop international collaboration network an Indonesian case. Is it a slide this by you or by me? Pointer? Oh, this one. Oh, I like to talk with you, so why don't you help me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, which one is the yeah. Oh, yeah. And so, yeah, okay. Oh, not pointer. I want to go. So, this is the outline. Why we choose certain topics. And why need collaboration? Why develop and developing countries? The collaboration between those. And what's the goal? We have to have goals. And here I use the MDGs, Millennium Development Goals. Just how long? Do we only have 2 years, even less, to reach the goal? So how to speed up the goals? And what are the strategies if we know that we are not catch up with the goals that have to be reached? And how can international publication be cited? This is mostly our goal, right? But more than that, how can a study result being a policy? This is the one that we need to go further. And this is, at the moment, is our collaborators. Each of these university or medical schools mostly, we have certain topics for collaboration. And this is very important, how we decide which topic. And why is this important? Because by having a topic that ours, with our local wisdom, we will be able to be in the same level as our collaborators. Then we have to remember from the very beginning. And this is my mission. And so, lesson learned from my own. This is 1976. 3 years after discovery of rotavirus, that finally found out that it caused diarrhea, and this is the highest fatal diarrhea being caused by this virus. At the time, the diarrhea, this is why I chose diarrhea, because diarrhea is the highest killer of children under 5. Actually, besides pneumonia. But in Indonesia, diarrhea is much higher than pneumonia. And if they recover, those who are recovered, they will have a very low level, quality of life. So that there is no point of treating patient without any optimal health status. And this, at the time, the diarrhea is very high. Luckily, with a very new, very simple technology, but a new idea, we could help in in preventing death due to diarrhea, so that the death decreased very dramatically. However, the morbidity, including the quality of life, increasing, even during, but during the crisis of economy. So the morbidity of diarrhea is even higher. So this is one of our concern at the time. So that's why I choose diarrhea as one of the 3 main studies on dengue, tuberculosis, and diarrhea. Here is Professor Ruth Bishop. So why? And then I asked her to be one of our collaborators, because at that time we treat the patients, the etiology, without knowing the etiology. So how can we treat the patient without knowing etiology? Because we don't have the technology, we don't have the funding. Not only the funding, if we have the money, we can examine what the etiology is, so that it is treated blindly. It is there, but we have to treat it. And due to the clinical signs, fever, very severe, death. So no other choice than antibiotics, right? So that's all patients with diarrhea treated with antibiotics. So we know that we don't have the technology. So that Ruth Bishop is the discoverer. I asked her, when we have the problem, much more than yours. You have the technology. Why don't you work hand in hand? And she does agree. But at the time, I had the feeling there were 3 scientists who asked me to join with them, to work hand in hand and collaborate. But I had the feeling that this lady looks like she's nice. Now I just realized that actually a part of the collaboration, we have to use our heart. Not only brain, not only hand, but also heart. And this is even important. Why? Because our collaboration already ran for 44 years, and we are having a new discovery. We developed a vaccine, new vaccine, the latest in the world, being studied in our institution. And so it is true, Pak Bambang, that we have to work in transitional, means that not only in our field, we have to work as a clinician. I deal with the patients, but I can't know the etiology unless I work with the lab. And we have the bargaining power. Ruth, if you want to work with me, please teach my colleagues. And they were all my teachers, because I was still very young and beautiful. Of course, according to Lia's father. Yeah. And here, yeah. And this is very important, because why? And then everybody, my most senior one, they said, it's impossible, Bu Yati, to look for virus. This is developing country, mostly a bacterial. Why don't you they have a daydream? But I told them, no, because clinically the feces of the children is exactly the same as the children in Melbourne, in Australia. So it must be similar. And I told Ruth, and finally, yes, it was true. This is the background. I don't want to. It was true that the highest cause, finally, is not bacterial at all. It is virus, namely rotavirus, discovered by Ruth Bishop. Only very small of them caused by bacteria. So you know that actually we treated the patients with antibiotics to all this not necessarily being treated at the time. So that's why I become very enthusiastic. And then, because of publications in the Nasional, and I have the bargaining power rules, we are the one who have the patients. So that the first author should be us, not you. Of course, of course. And so, you know what? We are invited to be in here. Why it is important? Because we do the study with other countries using the one methodology. It means that comparable, the quality is very high, it can be sound, it can be listened by the world. So, in Asia. So, we have to, we are the fourth biggest country in the world. If you only UGM, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Indonesia, you are not being listened. But if we work on behalf of the Indonesian, so that we develop the collaboration networking. So this is our collaborators, and so we always being funded by WHO, UNICEF, because we are very strong, and we are also being trusted because the money, the rest of the money, we always send back to WHO, to the funder, and they give us more and more, and up to now we still do the, and this is very important because why? Because this is, all the findings that we have, not only in diary, not only in virus, but always being developed in all other medical schools in Indonesia. So that we are, so it is not conclusion, but so it means that if we are going to develop a collaboration international, we have to choose the very proper topic. And collaboration aggregate will be strong, valuable evidences that being used not only for publication, but for policy. And this is very important. And long-term sustainable goal. Yes, we are now dealing with post-MDG, not with MDG, post-MDG, because it's the disease is different. And then also long-term other strategies, we always have to be very innovative. What is the name of this Lingkar?
Inspirasi.
Inspirasi. It's inspired me. Yes, indeed, go ahead. Because without that, we won't get any, what is that? You know that. So that the time is up, but don't stop with international scientific publication only, but we have to need for action plan, as they are our future. We are waiting for our inventors. And this is not only work in a collaborate, because the most important is communication and also being trusted by our collaborator. I think that's all what I could share with you. Thank you very much.